Welcome to Mastery Dojo. I'm Master Sheldon. I'm here with Lama Tantrapa. We are talking about Mastery Dojo, what it is, how it's going to impact you. How did it start? Lama Tantrapa, someone I've known for many years now, and we're sharing something that's unique, something that really hasn't been done before on this scale. So let's just dig right into it. What is Mastery Dojo?
Well, thank you, Sheldon. The idea of Mastery Dojo has been circulating in my mind for a decade. It's been an ongoing conversation with my apprentices. We had a wonderful community in Portland, Oregon, but from time to time I've moved, and sometimes I moved overseas, like Guam, for example. I also lived in Hawaii, and now I'm in Europe again. It's hard to have a community under one roof unless it becomes a virtual community. And virtual community obviously would be something that's not new in general, but would be new to us. After many years of running Academy of Qidao, I finally turned all the intellectual property that I developed in the context of Academy of Qidao, the Secrets of Qigong Masters podcast, as well as numerous summits that I organized over the years since 2012. I brought them into Mastery Dojo. Hundreds of interviews with experts, thought leaders, fellow enthusiasts, and also my own trainings. I have a dozen online courses, plus numerous online courses co-created with other masters. Also, important aspect of our Mastery Dojo is the directory of masters. Most of the masters that have appeared on my show are in the directory, and the new ones are also being brought in. Virtually all the people that I've interviewed are featured in the directory. We are a living community with a growing virtual experiences within our platform.
That directory is essentially the who's who in Qigong and martial arts, even some screen actors and experts are in that vast directory.
Yes, it is who in Qigong and Tai Chi world, meditation, energy healing, and similar related disciplines. We are consistently working on bringing more masters into our fold. I started organizing mastermind groups over a decade ago, and we've been working on creating a new format called the Inner Circle. So if our viewers and listeners are actual masters or teachers or up and coming masters, this will be an invitation for them to join our inner circle or talk to us about it and see what that would take. And those experts and teachers who want to be on our show, who want to be featured in our directory, who want to have access to thousands of people in our online community, are welcome to reach out to us and to talk to us about what they're doing, how they would like to participate. Our doors are open.
Now, you've been on a lifelong journey towards mastery. Can you let us know how we got from your beginning to Mastery Dojo?
Let me start by clarifying that I'm not on the path towards mastery. I am on the path of mastery. The journey of mastery means it's a never-ending process. It's not like there is a destination to get to. Okay, I reached mastery. Now I'm at the pinnacle of human development. No, it never happens. No master I know of claim to have reached the pinnacle, which means they all agree that there's more room for improvement, which means that mastery is not a destination. It's the process of becoming more masterful. How do you become more masterful? You practice, you learn, you develop a mental attitude of having beginner's mind. Beginner's mind is what keeps us in a learning state of consciousness, regardless of how much you know. you don't stop learning. And that means that you're constantly developing yourself to the next level. And next level is not any easier than the previous level. It's just like a computer game. The next level is not going to be any easier. If you reach it, it's going to be more challenging. Or in education, if you graduate from the undergrad school, you go to grad school. Well, it is not any easier. You graduate from the graduate school, get your master's degree. Now what? Oh, there is post-grad school. Is it going to be easier? No, it's not. Each time you go to the next level, it's going to be more challenging because you're ready for it. And this is how we basically create our lives journeys. We unwittingly or unbeknownst to ourselves create our own path of mastery. We try to master some things. Some of us achieve that better than others. Essentially, we create our own adventures. Whether we do it consciously or not determines how much we enjoy it. And also, if we do it consciously, then we can choose our adventure. Which direction do I want to develop myself, or which direction do I want to grow? That becomes a conscious path of mastery. But it doesn't mean that it was always like this for me. I started from relatively humble beginnings, growing up in a country that is ravaged by the war now, Ukraine. My parents were PhDs in engineering. My mother was teaching at the Aerospace Academy, or Aviation Institute, as it was called back then. And my father was a researcher for pharmaceutical production. Basically, I grew up with parents who were very much in their heads. Luckily enough, my grandfather was not as much in his head. He was a Qigong master and kind of took me under his wing and helped me develop myself along this path. I also had another set of grandparents who were both lawyers, and they were pretty much in their heads too. So the only outlet for me was an opportunity to study with my grandfather, who taught me a lot of amazing things. He was kind of like a superhero for me when I was growing up. He also referred me to some of his friends, and I studied a variety of martial arts, meditation practices, and went on to study with some Tibetan lamas, not in Tibet, but in Siberia and other parts of Russia. Many people don't know about it, but it has a number of parts of the country that actually traditional Tibetan Buddhist countries, like Tuva or Buryatia. In the European part of Russia, between the Azov Sea and the Caspian Sea, there is Kalmykia, parts of the Mongol Empire. Russia was under the Mongol rule for 300 years. Obviously, there was a lot of cultural transference between the Mongols and Russians. Nowadays, most Russians follow the Russian Orthodox Church, but there are still some areas of the country where they practice Buddhism. It was not condoned by the communist regime during the Soviet times. So a lot of lamas were persecuted, a lot of temples and monasteries were destroyed or turned into warehouses, but some survived. And a handful of teachers who survived continued practicing, mostly underground, not wearing robes, not advertising themselves as lamas because it was too dangerous. In a sense, that was a surprising gift because being driven into the underground actually taught those who stuck with the practices to integrate them into daily lives. It became something that they did not do just by going to a temple and meditating or praying or chanting. Everything was underground, very quiet, but that allowed people to internalize the practices. And on the other hand, it also spread the practices. The Dalai Lama put it this way: it was a blessing in disguise when the Chinese took over Tibet. A lot of lamas escaped the country. That is what allowed them to bring Tibetan Buddhism and also Tibetan shamanism by extension worldwide. Because until then, it was just the cultural backwaters of Asia. And not many people knew about all those practices that were happening in the roof of the world. And they were too esoteric, too metaphysical, too weird. So nobody really studied them until the lamas basically poured over the borders of Tibet and started offering their teachings in India and eventually in the West.
So, Mastery Dojo is offering resources to people who are on the journey of mastery or who are interested in mastery. Tell us a little bit about the resources that are being offered by this project.
Well, it's an amazing website. It has over 700 pages. In addition to the directory we just talked about, there is one of the largest libraries of interviews with Qigong masters in the world. My podcast also was number one podcast in the world on Qigong in terms of number of downloads, well over 1 million downloads. We rebranded the podcast into Mastery Dojo Show, took all the interviews with the masters and compiled them into seasons. And the seasons are not like the winter of 2009 or summer of 2010, which is when the podcast started, but rather seasons on meditations, on breathing, on wellness, on energy psychology, on Tai Chi, and many other amazing topics. These seasons contain 12, 13 episodes each, and we are making some of the episodes, one episode per season, available as a featured episode for free. The rest of the season is very affordable, so I invite all our viewers and listeners to check them out. There's also going to be online courses. Like I said, I have a dozen online courses to my name. I may not put them all at the same time at Mastery Dojo web store, just because some of them are more advanced, and I consider the basic training as a necessary preliminary step to get to more advanced training. So I'm gonna probably hold back a few online courses. If there are advanced practitioners who want those courses, well, just reach out to me and we'll make it happen. We'll also offer group coaching programs dedicated to a number of applications of energy arts, whether it's personal development, on spiritual development, abundance, manifestation, other aspects of life that bring about greater happiness. Also, certification programs. In
Very cool.
2005, I pioneered the profession of Qigong coaching. I didn't sit on my hands since then. In 2015, I pioneered dream yoga coaching. And then 2025, in a decade, I brought those two together and they became mastery coaching. Mastery coaching also integrated some of the aspects of embodiment coaching and manifesting coaching that I was also known for. I wrote books on those topics and created online courses on them that basically all came together. So Mastery Dojo is an integration of all my training methodologies and coaching methodologies that I've been developing for over 2 decades. Mastery coaching is available as a certification program for those folks who want to become certified mastery coaches. And that's not all. We also have Avatar of yours truly, trained on all the mastery coaching methodologies. We are on the cutting edge of technology in this respect, the cutting edge of coaching industry, the cutting edge of online education, because we literally integrated an AI coach into our platform. To wrap it all up, I also added a strategy game based on the traditional Go that I invented many years ago For the longest time, I could not figure out how to make it work because it was too complicated. And finally, just last year, I managed to pull it off, and it all came together as a beautiful online strategy game. I call this 3D Go, Global Go. This gives you the opportunity to train your mind to think globally and act locally. Once you
Mm.
put that to good use, you'll see that this is a perfect sandbox for mastery development. And just like in traditional Go, we also have this system of belts, starting with the color belts, the white belts, yellow belts, and so on, all the way to black belts. And of course, they don't reach the pinnacle of development once you get the black belt. It just simply means that you are better than what you used to be. You go through the series of dans or degrees of the black belt, similar to the martial arts nomenclature, and that's why it also is perfectly suitable to be part of our dojo.
When you reach that level of black belt, you are a master of the basics. And now your real training begins. So that's incredible. Mastery Dojo is also launching a summit that's coming up in April. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that summit.
I've been doing summits since 2012, and most of those summits happen to be the same time as the World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. On numerous occasions, I featured Bill Douglas, co-founder of World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, and he's probably going to be featured again this year. Each year we have different topics. Last year, for example, the topic was resilience. The year before was abundance, and many other topics and amazing presentations over the course of the last decade plus. This year, the topic of our summit is mastery. What would be the better way to launch Mastery Dojo than by bringing under one roof masters who have something to share on the topic of mastery development? We call this Global Mastery Summit, bringing together some of the top experts in the field, respected masters, and we are going to host this as a live event. We are coming together at a physical location at the retreat center in Massachusetts called, where we will broadcast the summit from. We'll have an opportunity to dive deeper into the development of all the presenters so that they will be able to benefit a lot more than from any other summits that we've ever had before. We also intend on bringing a lot more people into our community. We had thousands of people attending our summits. So we built a 12,000 strong community of participants. I intend to double that number this year, get another 10,000 people participating in our summit this year, which will hopefully grow our community to about 20,000 people or more. And that will be also a perfect springboard for launching Mastery Dojo platform.
Awesome. And even though Mastery Dojo has just started and there's still a lot of activity, there's still a lot of building that's happening, tell us a little bit about the online community and what people should expect.
Well, number one, of course, this is the community of people who value mastery. They're not in competition with each other, they are supporting each other. They're like-minded people from all over the world that come together because they have similar values. Access to some of the world-class experts in our respective fields, whether it's Tai Chi, meditation, energy healing, personal development, coaching, or publishing. We are bringing together some of the thought leaders in those respective industries, and we feature some of them. Once a month, we actually feature one of the masters. This particular master either shares something through the Q&A session or delivers a master class or organizes a challenge in our community. So our community members have an opportunity to elevate themselves to the next level. My global Go game is baked right into the community, as well as AI concierge available to all community members. Now, for those folks who step up to the plate and upgrade their membership to gold levels, we make available our avatar coach, the AI coach that is trained on mastery coaching methodologies, plus many other materials that are available through our podcasts and summit archives. And the last but not the least, we're also continuing our podcast as we transformed it into a Mastery Dojo podcast. It becomes available to the members of our community, either as a current season or a featured episode, or for platinum members, all of them, unlimited access. That is like Netflix of spiritual and personal development.
That's incredible. What a resource. It's one of those things. Where was this when I started my journey? I was really fortunate to meet a lot of masters like yourself that introduced me to a whole different world of understanding as well as different masters. So it's great to be able to give this to people who are on their journey. This is a very rare thing. The amount of work that an individual would have to do in order to get these resources on their own is tremendous, and all the heavy lifting has been done so that you can just actually focus on the skill and not just acquiring access and resources. So this is amazing.
Yeah, like you said, where was this when I was starting out? This is how I felt. This is what inspired me to create all the materials, all the podcasts and summits and other things that I've been creating because I realized I wish something like this was available and there wasn't any. So I had to create it. Similarly, I wish there was the Global Go game and there wasn't any. So I had to create it. Essentially, the best creative work I have done seemed to be when I was trying to create something that I wish existed because I would love to use it.
You're creating something that you would have wanted that would have helped you. I think having a community of people on the path and creating accountability, synergy, and lots of opportunities, that's still valuable to us today, not just something that we wished we had.
Absolutely. And we continue organizing more events. I do more retreats nowadays. That is an important aspect of Mastery Dojo community as well. For those people who are starting out, obviously the majority of our members are at relatively starting points on the journey. You need to build the foundation. How are you going to do it? If you have a master that you train with, that means that you are one of the lucky ones who actually has access to wisdom that's available to you relatively easily and directly. If you are looking for more training, more mastery, coaching, more opportunities to explore what else is available, where are you going to go? Go to masterydojo.com. Check out our community, check out our directory, check out our events and courses and programs. And we also have a blog that we are populating with more and more amazing content. Once you enter the dojo, you will be amazed. It will actually take you by the hand. The system, the AI operating system, will take you by the hand and walk you through the process of self-assessment, self-discovery, and self-reinvention because it is that good. And if you want to work with a human coach, we also have availability of human coaches so you can book appointments with them or enroll in group coaching programs. This is something that I wish existed when I was starting out. And as a coach, I wish something like this existed for coaches because nowadays there are lots of coaches. So there is competition. Most coaches, when they graduate from coaching programs, don't hit the ground running. Why? Because it's not easy to establish yourself. It's not easy to build a following. It's not easy to create presence online or on social media. And even if you have presence, it's not easy to enroll people in your coaching programs or services. So, what's the solution? Well, one of the solutions is to become a certified mastery coach. The top of the class graduating from our mastery coaching programs will have an opportunity to receive referrals directly from our AI coach. Essentially, AI coach will see how far it can help members of our community. And once it reaches certain limit, because it will reach certain limit inevitably, it will refer those folks to human coaches. Well, we need more human coaches to work with the folks from our community. That's exactly what most coaching graduates will dream of, that they would receive coaching clients without having to work hard on marketing themselves, on establishing themselves, on creating following and all of that. Of course, you can also do that as well, but if you are a diligent student of mastery coaching, you will have an opportunity to also get referrals directly from our AI coach avatar. That doesn't even exist in any coaching schools that I know of.
Thank you again. You're going to see a lot more interviews coming from Mastery Dojo, the Mastery Dojo show, the podcast, all of the different resources that are on the website. It's a plethora of things to engage in, and also just really enlightening talks, conversations, learnings, lessons. Share with people what Mastery Dojo is, how it can be a resource and a community for them as they're on their path of mastery. So join Mastery Dojo, get in on our exclusive courses. Everything's available for you. And thank you again, Lama.
Thank you, Sheldon.